Hey there, welcome in that new video tutorial which shows how to use the Unreal Blueprint to override the population tool positions and orientations. So here I'm running Golem 8 within Maya, and the setup I'm having is pretty simple. I made a grid pop tool with 9 positions, and I just assigned a motion behavior to my characters. So from the previous video, you probably already have learned how to use Unreal Blueprints to control any single attribute within your Golem digital assets running within the Golem engine. But when it comes to the pop tool, it's pretty common that you'd like to override those positions and orientation. So rather than using the node which we showed you, we have a dedicated node to do this, which can be more easier to use. So if I want to override my population tool positions and orientation, as always, I need to expose those as public attributes. So I can go into my crowd manager here, open the Golem engine attributes, and pop out the public attributes editor. I can figure where are my population tools, and I'm just having one in my scene, and I want to make sure that I'm going to expose both the positions and the orientations as a public attributes. Notice that those are vector-free array, so it's going to be an array of free float value which define a position and a orientation. So we're going to apply this, and we are going to export our digital assets. So let's put it here. It's going to create the GDA, Golem Digital Asset, with the expose attribute and all the nodes and assets file used into this simulation. Now let's jump into Unreal. And let's create a Golem simulation node, which we're going to use to replay our simulation and also change the population tool positions. So I want to make sure that my simulation node is at the 0, 0 position, else you'll have some offset when you're going to replay your characters. And the digital asset file I want to use is the pop tool blueprint one. So now I can get my exact same scene that I had within Maya. So my 9 characters gridded and playing a motion behavior. But let's say you need to have more characters, or let's say you want them to start from a different position. How do you gonna do controlling this? So you can see I've got my positions here, my orientations there, which have been made public, so they're exposed. And what I'm going to do is just use those different shapes to create different pop tools. So I'm going to show you how does it work. So let me also show you what we're going to use for that node. Is going to take into account the positions of the vertices. So you can see here, it's not really obvious, but floor plane. We've got a plane which is just 4 vertices here. We've got a cylinder zone which has a couple of more vertices, which has been imported using FBX, and also another plane with a grid here. So let's go back to the lids. So what I'll do is go into the blueprints and open the level blueprint. So what I want to have is the beginning play. So this action of overriding the pop tool position is something I want to happen when the simulation starts. And I'm gonna create a pop tool override. So let me see how I can pop that guy in. Utilities. So I probably need to have my simulation first. So let's get a reference to my simulation. Okay, create reference to Golem simulation, and from here I'm under the impression that it will be easier to access all Golem nodes, which is the case. So make sure first that you select your Golem simulation node, bringing it into your blueprint so you can have access to the override pop tool from mesh. Oops, and that guy is already here, so let's replace it. So we want this to happen when the simulation starts, and you will see it's pretty straightforward compared to what we have in the other techniques, where we just need to provide the pop tool name and the name of the mesh, and that's it. So here within the pop tool name, we can see I haven't renamed it, so it's called pop tool shape 1. So let's write this down, pop tool shape 1. All good. And regarding the mesh, we're gonna use that cylinder I created, make a reference from it and connect that mesh here. And just by connecting those, when we're gonna now play the simulation, we should have all the characters being played and created and instanced based on the vertices. You can see that if there are more characters than characters that you have emitted, Golem will adapt itself and create new characters following the same rules in terms of geometry variation, scale variation. And yeah, you can really change and interact your scene in different way this manner. So let's do it with another, well, not sure it's really required, but let's do it maybe with another geometry. I can bring my square zone here, and I can also create a reference to it and replace it. And obviously the next time I'll play the simulation, now I have a great character. And it also works obviously with native Unreal geometry. This is just a regular plane here. So once again, I can create a referenced plane, put this into the mesh, and play it, and now I only have 4 characters. Keep in mind that also if your Golem simulation for some reason is slightly offset, you also see that offset when you're going to apply that population tool, because this will be added on top of the positions of your geometry. So yeah, that's a really simple way to override pop tool positions and orientation for your characters just by using that specific node. So yeah, hope that helps, and see you into the next video.